Mr. Goldman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In preparing for this markup, I wanted to do a little bit of work to understand why the Oversight Committee is trying to hold the Attorney General of the Department of Justice in contempt. The Oversight Committee does not have jurisdiction over the Department of Justice. The Judiciary Committee does, and I understand the Judiciary Committee held a markup of their own today on the same exact contempt motion. And so I thought, oh, well, let's take a look at the impeachment investigation. It must be coming from that. So I looked at the impeachment resolution that was passed on December 13th, 2023, HRes 918, and it refers to a memorandum dated September 27th, 2023 from the three chairs that was entitled Impeachment Inquiry. It's 30 pages long, this memorandum, and there isn't a single mention of classified documents or Special Counsel Robert Hur or Joe Biden possessing classified documents. And so, Mr. Chairman, I would ask what on earth we are doing here in the Oversight Committee when we have no jurisdiction to be holding the Attorney General in contempt. And I'll happily yield to you if you would like to respond. Doesn't want to respond.
I'll respond.
Go ahead, Mr.
Yeah,
Gosar.
we actually set the precedent in my first term, our second term, in regards to holding Mr. Holder accountable in contempt in this very office or this very committee. And
yeah, but that was related, if I may just reclaim my time, that was related to an investigation that this committee was doing. What the Special Counsel Hur was investigating has nothing to do with anything that this committee is investigating. I understand that the impeachment investigation that you all ran was such a massive flop and a bust that you would like to try to distract from that complete humiliation, but doing so outside of your jurisdiction is probably not the best way to do it. And in reality, not only was this absurdly postponed so some people could go prostrate themselves in front of their dear leader today in New York, and we are now at 10 o'clock at night, but we have absolutely no reason to be here. We have no jurisdiction over this matter. It was properly in front of the Judiciary Committee. The Judiciary Committee will do what they want to do over there in the Department of Justice, but it is truly a reflection, an unfortunate reflection, of how desperate the chairman is to distract from what was a monumental bust of an impeachment investigation.
Would the gentleman yield for a question?
So, not quite yet, Mr. Biggs. I'll get to you.
Thanks.
And so I would urge the chairman to explain to all of us what, other than pure distraction from the impeachment investigation that seems to be over now, as to why we are here at 10 o'clock at night marking up something over which we have no jurisdiction. Mr. Biggs, happy to yield to you.
Thank you. Thanks so much. And Mike, I guess my question is on your jurisdiction position, your position that we lack jurisdiction. I'm wondering if you would take what you think of Rule 10 of the committee's jurisdiction, and also
I don't have Rule 10 memorized, Mr. Biggs.
We'll take a look at it because it says. Let me see if I can just give you a slight.
Go ahead and read it, just like you can read the transcript.
Yeah. Well, I would prefer actually seeing the audio of the transcript, hearing the audio of the transcript. Anything at any time. That's the language that's used in Rule 10. Take a look. It might be helpful when you're making a lack of jurisdiction argument. The other thing is,
what is anything at any time, Mr.
Take a look in Rule 10. I think you'll change your position. Let me ask you this other question.
Would the gentleman yield?
Well, I'll reclaim my time and yield to Mr. Raskin.
I wanted to thank the gentleman from New York for his trenchant remarks here. Would you think it's fair to say that it's not only way outside of our jurisdiction, but it's also redundant, given that the Judiciary Committee, which has jurisdiction, has already acted?
Well, of course. This is already going to go to the House floor regardless of whatever we do. So it's a shame that this committee feels so desperate to latch on to some victory that we need to hold a completely redundant, unnecessary markup over something that we have no jurisdiction. Mr. Chairman, I
And the
yield back.
gentleman's time's expired. Does anyone else seek recognition? We have some amendments to be offered. Can we start with the amendment process? Is everybody okay with that? I will begin. I recognize myself to first offer an amendment. The clerk will distribute the amendment to all members. Everyone have my amendment? The clerk will please designate the amendment.